All right, today we're diving into something really interesting. It's called VidStr. It's all about rethinking who really owns your content online by tapping into this idea of a decentralized web. So let's break down how it actually works. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, let me ask you something. Think about the last video you uploaded, to one of the big platforms. Who's really in charge of that video? Seriously, who gets to decide if it stays up, or who sees it, or even how you get paid for it? That single question? Well, that's the entire reason something like VidStr even exists. So what's the big problem they're trying to solve? Well, proponents of this whole new model would point to one thing, a central point of failure. See, pretty much the entire internet we use day to day, it's built on this centralized structure. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. On the left, that's the internet you're used to, right? One big company, one big set of servers, one set of rules. Sure, it's efficient, but it's also a single choke point for control and, well, for failure. But then, look at the right. That's the decentralized model VidStr is built on. It's a whole web of independent, connected nodes. There's no single boss calling the shots. And that brings us right back to VidStr. The whole idea is to be a platform without rulers, built from the ground up on that decentralized concept we just saw. Okay, so what is VidStr exactly? Well, at its core, it's a video sharing platform, but it's built on something called the NotebookLM protocol. And yeah, for the curious, that stands for Notes and Other Stuff Transmitted by Relays. But honestly, the main thing you need to remember is this. It's designed from day one to work without a central company calling all the shots. And here's a really cool technical bit. VidStr is what's known as a pure client-side site. What does that even mean? It means the whole app just runs right there in your web browser. There are no VidStr servers in the middle collecting your data or tracking what you do. Nope, you're connecting directly to the network. Okay, so you're probably wondering, how in the world does this actually work if there's no big company managing it all? It's a great question. Let's dive into the mechanics. All right, first up, your identity. I want you to completely forget about usernames and passwords for a second. On VidStr and Nostra, your account is actually a cryptographic key pair. Think of it like this. Your public key, that's your username. It's public. Everyone can see it. But your private key, that's like your master password, but way, way more powerful. It's what you use to sign everything you post, proving it came from you. And the crucial part, you and only you hold that private key. Okay, next question. Where does the video actually go? This is a two-part answer. The big video files themselves, they live on decentralized file servers. But the information about the video, the title, the description, the link to the file, that gets broadcast out to this whole network of independent servers called relays. And by spreading that data far and wide, it suddenly becomes super difficult for any one person or company to just delete it or censor it. And VidStr has a really smart way of handling this. When you upload something, it doesn't just send it to one place. It blasts it out to all the relays you've configured all at once. Maximum spread. Then, when you're looking for videos, it asks all those relays for new stuff in parallel. The result? You get this super resilient system where it doesn't matter if one or two relays go offline, you're not relying on any single one. All right, but what about monetization? How do creators get paid? Well, this is also totally peer-to-peer. VidStream uses something called Lightning Zaps. It's basically a way for viewers to send tiny, instant Bitcoin payments directly to a creator. You like a video? You can zap it with a few cents or more. There are no ads. There's no platform taking a 30% cut. It's just a pure, direct financial link between you and the creators you support. Now, this might all sound super technical, but the important thing to know is that they've designed the user experience to feel, well, normal. You pick your video file, you add a title and description, just like you always would. The only real difference is that instead of typing a password, you sign the upload with your private key to prove it's you. And boom, it's published to the network. VidStr also gives you a choice when you upload, and this is pretty neat. You can choose between two types. Regular videos are what they call immutable. Think of it like carving something in stone. Once it's out there, it's out there. You can't change it. But then you have addressable videos. These are editable. You can go back later and tweak the title, update the description, or even swap out the video file. So creators get to choose. Do they want permanence or do they want flexibility? But look, this new world of decentralization and total user control, it's not all sunshine and roses. It comes with its own challenges, its own trade-offs. You could say there's a price to be paid for this kind of freedom. On the plus side, the freedoms are huge. We're talking about serious censorship resistance. We're talking about true ownership of your content because you hold the keys. You get to make money directly from your audience. And maybe best of all, there's no big company that can just wake up one day and change all the rules on you.
But here's the other side of that coin. With that freedom comes a lot of responsibility, and it lands squarely on your shoulders. You are the only one responsible for keeping your private keys safe. The very existence of your content on the network depends on those independent relays staying online, and there's no central safety team to moderate or remove harmful content.
And this quote right here, it just nails it. Lost private keys cannot be recovered. Think about that. There's no forgot my password link in a decentralized system. There's no customer support line to call. If you lose that private key, you lose access to your digital identity forever. So when you step back and look at the whole picture, it's clear that VidStr isn't just trying to be another video app. It's really pushing a completely different philosophy for how we should be sharing and controlling our content on the internet. At the end of the day, VidStr and the Nostr protocol are a massive experiment. They're a real-world test to see if we can build a more resilient, a more open, and a more user-controlled internet, one where the power shifts away from a few giant platforms and back into the hands of individual people.
And that really leaves us with the big question, doesn't it? What we're looking at is a system that offers you a whole lot more freedom, but in return, it demands a whole lot more personal responsibility. So the question you have to ask yourself is that a trade-off you're willing to make?